Guys, I'm excited to announce we might have a new toy to play with today. It is official in Ohio. The winter season has finally come to an end. Well, kind of a little bit. Let me explain. As you guys can see, there's still copious amounts of snow on the ground. However, we are finally blessed with a 50-degree day out here in Ohio. So you guys know what that means. We are finally taking delivery of the Triumph Rocket 3, which I have been waiting on for 4 months now. It is the biggest production motorcycle that the market has ever seen. Ladies and gentlemen, we're picking up the Triumph Rocket 3, and I'm a little bit nervous.
And just like that, this is my Triumph Rocket 3. I bought this bike 4 months ago, and ever since I bought it, it has been sitting at this dealership, not being able to pick it up because of crap like this, and because this bike is too big, obviously, to fit into my truck. This bike weighs over 700 pounds, makes 180 horsepower, 165 foot-pounds of torque, double the amount of torque as a leader bike. It makes 60 more foot-pounds of torque than my Kawasaki H2 back home. I finally got a nice enough of a day to be able to do something like this. The winter here in Ohio has been brutal, unfortunately. We have not had, it's been unrelenting. It's the problem with buying a seasonal vehicle when you live in a state that is quite seasonal. I mean, bro, just look at the size of this rear tire. This thing is massive. It is insane. The only downside is it's a little bit salty on the ground, so salt combined with water on new metals, not ideal. Christian, you have my license plate. That way I could be a good legal boy. This is good. Bro's drilling holes in my brand new bike. That's actually, I've never seen that before. What? I mean, I could just like not ride it legal. Gotta pay the bills somehow. Also, huge shout out to State 8 Motorcycles and my friend Christian here. He did cut me quite a good deal on this thing, so.
That's the way we roll, man.
Appreciate you, buddy. This is a cold start of a Triumph Rocket 3. Jesus Christ. You guys see it just twist the bike around when it did that? So usually with these spring first rides, things get a little bit weird. It's a little bit non-traditional because we're not riding in true conditions yet. As you can see, the roads are still a little bit wet. There's still salt on the road, which is like kind of like sand. Not trying to make excuses. It's just like we're not going to be going out and having a very long ride. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have a lot of experience with this bike, unlike when I had my KTM down in Florida. Once again, I must say, if you're coming to this channel for motorcycle reviews, prepare to be disappointed. Especially when it comes to this bike. I am kind of buying this bike as a defiant message kind of against what I've been feeling. I mean, I literally just had an argument with my friend Nick over there a couple of days ago. Nick is the type of kid to go out on a bike and kind of ride a little bit more reckless than I am. But the problem is when you're riding sport bike, there does come the expectation of hooting around everywhere that you go. And with a bike like this, I feel like there's a little bit less of an expectation. So that is something I'm more looking forward to. Once again, let's get another fire up of the Triumph Rocket 3. I'm going to try to get as close as possible. There we go. Just twisting the whole bike around when it starts. One unfortunate thing about the Rocket, I don't think I explained on camera yet, is this bike currently has no quick shifter on it. So kind of like the KTM, I have to manually shift every gear. Sucks. Not the end of the world. Again, when it comes to a brand new bike, you are supposed to break a clutch in without a quick shifter, but they did not manage to get the quick shifter on this bike in time for me to pick it up, which is a little odd considering it was a couple months out, but it's fine. They were still super chill with me, and I did kind of get a good deal on this bike, so it's not the end of the world. I'm perfectly capable. Jesus Christ, this thing is massive, bro. My God, I'm sorry. That is just so distracting, the weight of this thing. Let's get this in a good road mode. All right, cool. Gas gauge. Yes, love to see that. Note all these switches on the right. This bike only has 1 mile on the odometer. Okay. Guess there's nothing else to do but ride it. It is such a weird riding position that I'm not used to. Fix my mirrors up maybe a little bit so I can see what's behind me. I'm basically driving a car at this point. Literally. This has an engine that is bigger than the engine on my old car, and I'm already lugging the motor. Wow, you really have to let the clutch out in this thing. Alright, she's not the most maneuverable. Holy cow, this thing's freaking picks up speed quite quickly. So my main goal is I'm kind of again breaking rules with a break-in on a motorcycle. This is a massive engine, bro. This is such a weird... I've ridden one of these bikes before, and I'm already getting pulled out on. Okay, cool. Good thing I'm not accelerating today. This is so much different than riding the KTM or any kind of sport bike ever. So the weird thing about the Rocket 3, it is the complete opposite than something like my Yamaha R6, where instead of revving to 16,000 RPM, this bike only revs to 7,000. So especially when it comes to braking, you are not supposed to rev this thing over, 4,000 RPMs. We got plenty of RPMs to work with. It is a very low-strung engine because it's so massive. It's kind of like a car engine. This literally has a bigger engine than what my old Honda Civic used to have. Oh my God, go! No, I'm out in the middle of an intersection now. Are we serious? Too much traffic out here. And of course, we're behind another brother, and that kind of fit in. I'm not fully brothered out. It's still a Triumph, which is W. We're already being harsh on the brakes. Ugh. Oh, he just bought that thing too. Look at that. Shot, dude. What's going on? That's so cute. Look at that. I fit right in the... Oh, that's a Honda. That's not even a Harley, dude. I just realized I see a Cruiser and I'm like immediately that's a Harley now. That is a Honda Davidson. The Honda Davidson. Look at him go. So cute. God, you really have to like, it's very much like a leader bike where you have to just drag the clutch out all the way in. Like I'm already going 25 miles an hour in first gear, 3,000 RPMs. Very long gearing, but that's not necessarily a horrible thing. It's kind of like what you expect when you have this big of displacement. I'm very curious to see what the top speed is of this bike. That is not something normally a lot of people test when it comes to cruisers, but I feel like this bike can low-key handle it. I'm breaking a little bit of the rules when it comes to the break-in. I am unfortunately going to have to take this bike on the highway, which is not what I usually like to do with my break-in motorcycles. But my only other option was to take it through the Cuyahoga Valley, which if you look around, it's still quite wet out, so this is about as dry as the road is going to get. Alright boys, let's get the highway acceleration. I don't want to go over 4,000 RPMs. The funny thing is about this bike, when I bought it, you know when you buy a brand new motorcycle, they usually try to upsell you on like a warranty service or something like that, try to get you to buy some extra stuff. The warranty companies that try to upsell you and try to steal your money literally deem that this bike is not worth for them to try to warranty. So you get the 2-year factory warranty, and that is it. So I gotta be, especially if I plan on keeping this bike long term, which considering these bikes, the value of these bikes just get annihilated in the aftermarket, I might be stuck with this bike for a while. So 4,000 RPMs it is, which it has no problem doing. Dude, we're doing 73. Let's slow it on down. This thing is very comfortable at highway speeds. It has no problem. That's low-key chill. I like that. I like a big motor that can do highway speeds for a long period of time. All right, let's go grab our ticket like the good boys we are. I mean, I can't even complain, bro. If we're gonna drive a motorcycle as big of a car, we might as well grab a ticket like the rest of the cars. Yeah. All right, let's try to, I'm not gonna, this is what I'm talking about. You can't really drag me on this bike. It's not like a sport bike where the limitations are outside of street use. It's like it's a big old cruiser. Like even some naked bikes, you low-key can't even like hit the limits of those on the street without being a little bit reckless. This is a little bit more fun because you can actually hop off the bike a little bit. It's like, oh, you're pushing the limits because it's a giant 700-pound cruiser. Without it being like a Harley, without it's like, well, it's a little bit sketchier on the Harley. It's like this thing's a little bit more fun. I can trust this thing a little bit. Yeah, this thing's awesome. Yeah, dude. And I tell you, I needed this. I've been cooped up in my house ever since I got back from Florida with the KTM escapade. It's just annoying. Like, I probably shouldn't have ridden today. Like, you look at the facts, like, and like, there's salt on the road, there's water everywhere. It's low-key kind of cold out. It doesn't make any sense to be riding, but to me, it's just, I needed it. I need to be outside. This thing is just so wicked, bro. It's so free of judgment because I know the kid behind me is always judging me on the sport bikes. Not that I could not care less, but it's just nice in my mental. It's like so much more freeing. It's like I'm just on a big cruiser and the flexing with it itself is just whipping this thing around, just having a good time. It's hard to have a bad time when the thing you're on is literally 160 foot-pounds of torque away from just ripping off pavement off the road. This thing is just ridiculous, bro.
That was like the entire time.
You're saying I was leaning off the entire tire?
Like that was pretty much the entire time.
That's what I'm saying. He's saying I'm using the whole tire to lean. That's what I'm talking about, bro. There we go. Sorry, it's a little bent up. This one's a little bit too big to sneak around that.
No, you don't have to do that. You got cameras.
No, I know. I'm just playing with you.
Careful.
Take care. Can't sneak around you with that one. He's talking about the cameras. It's like, most people will do that on running plates anyway. So what Nick was talking about, he was trying to tell me that I'm using the whole tire when I'm going around the corner like that. Which is not my intention, but that literally gives you an idea. Like, that is the kid who's always telling me, like, you're not using the whole tire, bro. When you're on this thing, it's like, it's really easy to push the limits of the bike that you're on when it weighs this much and is not designed. Like, this is a street bike. It's not a track bike. It's not a naked bike that is like low-key can be used on track. This is a cruiser. Like, you're not gonna take this on track. That's not how it's done, which is cool. I like when every single motorcycle I own is made to go on the track. It's low-key kind of different to have something that is not made to do that. What is kind of cool about this bike too is notice I'm in like 5th gear. If I shift down to 6, going 67 miles an hour, it's like when you're driving an engine that is designed for the street, you notice how like low strung and chill it is at like normal street speeds. Like when you're on a more street oriented bike, it's designed to do more street oriented things. What are you doing? Okay. Preach. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate the love and support on that one. All right, bro. I was just trying to clip farm. It's just designed a little bit better. Like, I forgot what I was trying to say. It's better for street use when you buy a street bike. Duh. Like, obviously, I guess that kind of comes with the territory. I don't know. I'm just trying to hype this thing up. It's cool. It's just so different from what I'm used to. Now, the stock exhaust isn't the worst. I've ever heard. It's just like kind of quiet. It's got a few pops, you can tell, but this thing needs an exhaust. You can't go around. Ooh, it's got a nice amount of heat from the exhaust right there too. That is nice. Kind of like the Panigale, but it's only on one side of your legs. So it's probably gonna bother me in the summer, but for right now it's quite nice. And shifting this thing around, the gearbox without the quick shifter feels really nice. I mean, Triumph was always kind of nailed shifting. The KTM was a lot rougher, which is something I didn't really talk about in that video because I had nothing to compare it to. But since the last bike I rode was the KTM and I had to go around shifting that bike without a quick shifter, shifting this bike is a lot nicer. This is awkward. A lot of traffic here. I'm low-key holding it up. Come on, people. Let's get moving. Here we go. Good boys. I am just kind of taking this thing straight home today. My only goal was to get this bike home. I like, there's no point in like really pushing the limits when it's freezing cold outside and the roads are filthy, bro. The only thing that I'm gonna get out here is discomfort and pain. I'm going back to Florida in a couple of days, so hopefully we can have some fun out there. But I missed riding in Ohio, bro. Ohio, like low-key, when the weather's nice out here, it is one of the best states to ride in the country. Similar to like California, all these other states, North Carolina, Tennessee. It's just the weather here sucks more often than when it's not. All right, let's get this thing home.
Something doesn't actually fit into this garage anymore. It's taking up as much space as 2 bikes in one. Yeah, this is the whole thing. Unfortunately, we didn't get as lucky with the weather today as we did with yesterday, so I'm kind of glad that we picked this bike up when we did. I originally was planning on picking up the bike today because it wasn't supposed to rain as long as it currently is. It's currently almost noon and the rain was supposed to stop by 10. So, yeah, I'm definitely glad I picked up the bike when I did. So at least she's home. Boys, I'm just super thrilled that I got this bike home when I did. I unfortunately only got to put on 21 miles on this bike before having to bring it home. And I don't think I'm gonna be able to ride it today. Unfortunately, with the weather the way that it is. This is the crux of being into motorcycles when you live in an area that is a little bit subpar. But I have literally owned this motorcycle for 4 months. My name has been on the title for 4 months. And yesterday was the first day I got to ride it. As I was saying when I was riding the bike, a big major factor of why I bought this bike is sport bikes are really cool. I think they get a lot of people into riding because it's kind of like seeing a supercar on the road. It's cool, they're flashy, they're loud. And so a lot of people's first motorcycles are going to be sport bikes like mine were. The thing is about sport bikes is that they are largely limiting. They are uncomfortable. They are meant to do one thing and one thing only, and that is going as fast as possible. And sometimes they can be a little bit hard to ride at slower speeds. A lot of these bikes these days are trying to make them more reasonable, like the V4. Each iteration of the V4 is becoming more and more reasonable. I have bikes like the 765 that is literally a street motor thrown into a sport bike. It looks like a sport bike, but it rides very much like a street bike. And that is cool. But at the end of the day, you're still going to get judged for riding a sport bike more reasonable than the average person, which is weird. And that is just not the lifestyle that I want to live. I mentioned I had an argument, not really an argument, like we like to have these like little debates with my friend a couple of days ago, where I don't want to invalidate his argument at all because I think he represents a good chunk of the motorcycle community, where you have a lot of testosterone-filled dudes, I mean the kid's 19, going out onto the world. He expressed to me one time where he doesn't understand people who go out riding their bikes and don't feel the desire to get better each time. And unfortunately, I'll give you the answer right now, it's because when you go out and try to push the limits each time you go out riding, you're eventually going to hit your limit, especially out in the street, and you're going to run into an opportunity where you can't recover and you go down. And he's not going to like me saying this, but he's never had an accident on the street or a major accident on the street. He's never had an accident where he wasn't wearing gear, which he doesn't wear gear most of the time. And he hasn't had an instance where he gets messed up for months at a time. I've witnessed people get messed up, you know, like visiting Jixabur in the hospital, dude. Like that was horrific. I almost feel like Jixabur handled that situation a lot better than I did. Like, it's just like seeing the potential of how messed up you can get on the street. The street's just not the place to do it. And that's like a trope that you probably heard many, many times before from YouTubers who are much more intelligent than I am. But the street's just not the place to do it. And I got a track day planned for May, which is sick. And I plan on pushing the limits as much as I can on the track. But when it comes to the street, I'm just chilling. I just like the vibe. I like the bikes. The bikes do it enough for me. They have enough excitement as it is. And so with a bike like this, I feel a lot less of that judgment. This is just a bike that I think brings smiles to people's faces just by the fact that it exists. It is a 2,500cc motorcycle. Just the existence of this bike doesn't make sense. It's just cool to be riding it and to pull the throttle on it and just to have fun. I mean, the existence of something like the H2, that doesn't make sense either, but then you still get judged when you're not flying down on the road on that bike everywhere that you go. This bike isn't meant to go top speeds. It is meant to do pull stoplight to stoplight. And I think that that is far more reasonable than going 200 miles an hour, expected to be going 200 miles an hour on an H2. I love the sport bikes. I will never sell all of my sport bikes. I will always have sport bikes in my lineup. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I think there is something cool about just having a bike that I can do what I most like doing on a motorcycle, which is going out, adventuring, and getting lost and putting as many miles down as I possibly can. That's what this bike is meant for, and that's what I plan on doing with it. In terms of mods, we have a couple of things we have to do to this bike. Of course, we have to do an exhaust on this bike. It needs it desperately. Exhaust, tune, probably maybe some special flair on this bike. Maybe we can add some color to it, because right now it is just all solid black, which is cool, but a little bit boring. So maybe we can do something fun with that. But with all that being said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't have much else to say because there's not much else I can do. Like I said, I'm being limited by the weather, so hopefully next video we're gonna go back down to Orlando and experience a lot better weather. Appreciate you guys sticking by me, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.